With WrestleMania just a few days away, we finally got our Night 1 and Night 2 match cards set. So I thought it'd be fun to look at these cards and give our predictions today. Now, of course, there's probably going to be a few changes going on through the week because we obviously have a Randy Orton match looming, hopefully for WrestleMania, the Andre the Giant Battle Royale, and of course what's going on with the men's WWE Tag Team titles. And it'd be fun to compare notes to a video I did just a couple of months where I predicted the WrestleMania card right after the Royal Rumble. And let me tell you, there's a lot of wrong in that prediction. So let's head over to Night 1 of WrestleMania. First match is going to be the World Tag Team Championship match with the War Raiders versus the New Day. Now, unfortunately, this match really has no build whatsoever aside from just a week ago, and there's not a lot to it. I'm honestly shocked it's going to be on the WrestleMania card without some kind of added caveat or even another team thrown in, or maybe a multi-man, just everywhere, all hell break loose type of match. But no, we're just getting the War Raiders versus the New Day. Now, there's a lot of speculation on whether or not Big E will actually get involved with this match and cost the New Day the titles, or help them win the titles. It's kind of weird that these tag titles are going to be on the Mania card, considering the titles on SmackDown have been gaining so much traction over the past few months. There's been a tag team title match on SmackDown almost every week, and they've been changing hands like crazy, or some teams have gotten the upper hand of other teams, and you know, the Profits are champions now. Are they going to be champions come WrestleMania after this SmackDown? Who knows? But that's the perfect condition for a ladder match of some type, or something, some sort like that we usually get on the WrestleMania card. So I'm honestly shocked it's not on there. In my predictions from a few months ago, I actually predicted both tag team titles to be strung up in the air, much like last year when they were trying to take the unified tag titles and separate them out. I thought that'd be a cool idea to do this year as well, with all the teams involved in the tag team picture. Just put up both sets of titles, whoever grabs them, that's the new tag team champions, and it gets your big multi-man match out of the way, and it gets both tag titles on the WrestleMania card, which they should be on WrestleMania card. But right, the prediction, who's going to win this? I think New Day has to win this. They had a huge angle 4 months ago with Big E, and it has gone nowhere. They need something. They're this new heel group, but they haven't done anything. Now, obviously, the New Day doesn't need more validation as far as title wins, but this is a new type of New Day, and I think they do need it. And I think they're going to win at Mania, and I think they're going to hold these titles for a few months. Next up, we have our United States Championship match for the men. We have LA Knight taking on Jacob Fatu. Now, my old predictions video actually had these two in a triple threat along with Solo Sikoa. Now, I still think Solo Sikoa is going to have a big part in the result of this match. I think he can get involved and cost LA Knight the title. He could cost Jacob the title. Who knows? This is a big wild card for this match. But I am really excited to see this match because I think Fatu is a fantastic performer. And I think LA Knight has been delivering on his bigger matches over the past couple years. So I think we're going to get a hell of a fight. And I think it's going to be a great match overall. But with LA Knight already having a couple runs with the United States title, I think it's time that we crown the Samoan werewolf Jacob Fatu the United States champion. And I think unless Solo Sikoa screws him over sometime this summer, which I think he probably will, but if that's not the plan, I think you let Fatu hold that belt till next WrestleMania. All right, next on Night 1, we have a huge grudge match between two women who hate each other. We have Jade Cargill going one-on-one against Naomi. Now, I think we all kind of wondered over the past year if it was going to be Jade versus Bianca. That's what I certainly had in my predictions just a few months ago. But they threw a curveball at us. They actually gave us Naomi. And you know what? I'm not mad about it. Naomi has been killing it since she's been a heel. I think they've actually made her a better character because, you know, Naomi as a good guy over the past few years has just been there. Honestly, I kind of forgot she was gone for a number of years. That's how memorable she's been. But turning her heel, and she's definitely a lot better heel than when she tried this 10 years ago. But now she's actually going to be a watchable heel, someone you look forward to seeing in a match, in an angle. And I'm looking forward to their match at WrestleMania. I don't think this is going to be a WrestleMania classic. I think Jade Cargill still needs to be polished a bit more, but I think she's going to show us what she's been training on over the past few months, and I think we're going to be really surprised with this match, and I think it's going to be pretty solid, but I think Jade's going to get the victory. Then we have the Battle of the Luchadors. We have Hall of Famer Rey Mysterio going one-on-one against the newcomer, the man, the myth, the legend, El Grande Americano. And you know what? It's a shame that we don't get a Chad Gable on this card. It's kind of a crime, you know. But my prediction for the match is going to be El Grande Americano is going to win after there's some kind of shenanigans where Chad Gable does make an appearance, and we find out that it's not him that raised wrestling. Maybe a switcheroo underneath the ring, someone with a similar body type to Chad Gable. I think there's a lot of shenanigans that could be pulled off here, and I think it'll be pretty entertaining. But I do think El Grande Americano, Chad Gable, will get the victory at WrestleMania. Next, we have our WWE Women's title match between Charlotte Flair, the Royal Rumble winner, going against Tiffany Stratton, the champion. I think we can all agree this has probably been one of the least anticipated matches going into the WrestleMania season, just by the way they've booked this thing. I don't know what they're thinking. You have Charlotte Flair come back from an injury, and you want to build her to win the Royal Rumble. I can get behind that. But you look at how she was built before the Royal Rumble with her vignettes that were playing, making her look like she's still a queen and she's still a diva. It's almost still a very much heel persona. So when they try to bring her back as a babyface, I don't know why they were shocked that the fans just weren't behind her. If you wanted to have the fans behind her, do what you did with Triple H in 2001 to 2002 with those vignettes. Show the rebuilding process of Charlotte Flair. Show her that she's struggling, but she is pushing hard and fighting hard to get back to what she loves and get back to the fans that she loves. It's a pretty easy thing to book, especially with a knee injury like that. I think fans can get behind that. You know, we've seen this diva Charlotte Flair for so many years. Fans are tired of it. That's why they're going to boo her. And I hate that like some of her personal issues have been thrown in on this. I don't think it's very necessary for this. Obviously, there's a lot of drama around that, according to the dirt sheets. But it's out there now, and it's been made part of the storyline. I think there was a good recovery with the past SmackDown angle where you had Charlotte jumping Tiffany in the parking lot and in her match. So I think that's pretty good, but still, I'm just not looking forward to this match. And I think it's two people with such similar styles and similar looks. I don't care. I don't care who wins. It's probably going to be Charlotte Flair, and they'll set something up for her and like Jade or somebody else going forward. Then we have the men's Royal Rumble winner with Jey Uso taking on Gunther for the World Heavyweight title. Again, this is in the same boat as the Charlotte Flair-Tiffany Stratton match. Terrible build up until the past couple of weeks. Now, I do think the Gunther and Jimmy Uso angle, which I did predict, I think that added a lot to this build-up. The visual of Jimmy Uso's blood just everywhere, including Gunther using it as war paint, which is crazy, mind-blowing. If they did that early on in the build, it would be incredible. But I get it. You had 2 months to build this up because they announced the Jey and Gunther match so freaking early. And a lot of people complained because Gunther was in matches with American Alpha or the Alpha Academy, whatever they're called now. And I didn't hate those. You know why? Because it made Gunther look so much better as a wrestler, as an in-ring worker, because he was putting on great matches with people who were thought less than, and it didn't hurt his character. All it did was build up people under him, and I think that's what your top champion should be doing. I think it was a really cool move, but it probably wasn't necessary in the WrestleMania build-up. But nonetheless, we got Jey and Gunther. We got a hot angle going into the weekend, and I think it's time to make main event Jey a champion, a singles champion. Unfortunately, he's not going to be in the main event, so that nickname still does not apply to him. But hopefully once he gets this title, we can get some actual main events out of him going into the future. But it's just not going to happen at WrestleMania, not with some of the big names that are headlining Night 1 and Night 2. And if I haven't made it clear, Jey Uso is my pick to win the title. And now the main event of Night 1 is, of course, the triple threat between CM Punk, with Paul Heyman in his corner, Seth Rollins, and Roman Reigns. Now, of course, Paul Heyman is cornering Punk as the favor, which, to be honest, was a letdown of a favor in my opinion, because I really don't know how this benefits anybody. And still, I don't know the point of this match. If you picked Seth and Roman, I understand. A lot of history there, a lot of hate, and that is 2/3 of this match. And I get Seth and CM Punk have their own hatred. And CM Punk and Roman, they don't like each other, but I don't feel the hatred still. It's more of a professional dislike for each other. It doesn't feel like hatred. So it's not the match I would have wanted. I would have wanted Seth and Roman one-on-one. It's actually 10 years, a decade anniversary of the heist of the century, when Seth ran out with the Money in the Bank briefcase and cashed in on Roman and Brock and took Roman's potential title win away from him at WrestleMania 31. So I thought that had been a cool build for just their match alone. I didn't think you needed the triangle match here. And I actually had CM Punk facing Cody for the WWE title, but obviously that's gone now as well. So who wins this? I honestly don't know. There's a lot of ways this could go, a lot of cool possibilities, a lot of outcomes that could come out of this. You know, you could have Paul Heyman turn on Roman and stay with CM Punk. Or you could have Roman turn on Paul and get mad that Paul's over there with CM Punk and give Paul a reason to stay with CM Punk. Or you can have the biggest swerve of all and have Paul Heyman side with Seth Rollins. But to me, that just doesn't make sense. Those guys clearly don't like each other. Paul Heyman does a great job of getting that across on screen. I think what you do is you just have Paul walk out. You just have him say, this is too much for me, I can't do it. And you just have him leave the match. And then you just have a barn burner of a main event. I really wish there was something on the line, like a number one contenders match or something. There needs to be something for the outcome. But I honestly think Seth Rollins should get the win here and give him some momentum coming out of WrestleMania, which is something he's kind of lacked over the past couple of years. But this way you set up some kind of hot angle with CM Punk and Roman. They can go on their own, have a big feud throughout the whole summer. And then you could lead Seth to more of a title picture feud with whoever that may be, Jey Uso or Cena, who knows. But I'm just going to take a bold prediction because I do think Seth's probably last on a lot of people's list to win this. So I'm just going to take a chance and put him as my winner. All right, we're on night 2 of WrestleMania, and we are going to kick off with Liv and Raquel defending their tag team titles against Bayley and Lyra Valkyria. Now, my predictions a few months ago, I didn't think these titles would even be on the card. I thought that the Intercontinental title for the women would make more sense to be on the card. You'd have Lyra versus Bayley in a triple threat with Roxanne Perez, but unfortunately she hasn't really been called up to the roster for some reason. And you have Lyra and Bayley actually being a tag team now. And, after their gauntlet on this past SmackDown, I'm all for it. These guys put on a hell of a show. Do I think they're going to win this match? No, I don't think they're going to win this match. I think Liv and Raquel walk out of WrestleMania, and to credit to Liv, she does deserve a big WrestleMania win. So I'm glad she'll probably get this here. And you can have Lyra and Bayley take a feud into the summer, and I think that'll be a marquee feud for the IC title in its infancy of being around. Now here's a prediction I was so close to getting right, and that is a 4-way for the IC title. I did book a 4-way for the IC title, I just didn't get all the participants correctly. In my predictions, I had champion Braun Breaker defending his title against Sheamus, Penta, and Chad Gable. Now ultimately, I would have liked to have seen Sheamus get his big IC title win this year, because I just don't think he's got too many more years with us. That sounds like he's going to die. I mean, I don't think he's got too many IC title potentials in his career because he's going to be close to retirement soon. But this 4-way is actually going to include Braun Breaker, Dominic Mysterio, Finn Balor, and of course Penta. It is an interesting dynamic we're getting with the Judgment Day members, Finn Balor and Dominic Mysterio, being in the match, and if they're going to work with each other, or are they going to turn on each other, who knows. As far as who I think is going to win this match, I think it's going to be one of the Judgment Day members. There's enough here to where you can make Braun Breaker and Penta take a loss at WrestleMania and still look strong no matter what. It just depends on which Judgment Day member is actually going to turn on each other. Now, who I think is going to win is actually going to be Dominic Mysterio. I think it's going to be cool to see him with the IC title walking around with this girl and her tag team title. And I think it's going to do wonders for this guy. It's going to help shoot him up even more than he's already done. And he's had a great couple of years. So I think he has earned the right to be a champion of some type. And I think it does more to build up storylines, because I think there might be a new member of Judgment Day revealed coming up soon. You also have JD McDonough, who will probably return in the summer and help Finn Balor get revenge of some type. So I think there's more you can do with that. And you let Braun Breaker and Penta go on to have better feuds and possibly for bigger titles. Next up, we got our YouTuber match. We have Logan Paul taking on AJ Styles. Now, we always wonder when Logan Paul's at WrestleMania, who's going to be coming out with him? We've had KSI, we've had IShowSpeed. Now, who's next? Maybe Kai Cenat? Maybe Mr. Beast? I don't know. I'll let you guys decide in the comments. Tell me who's showing up for the YouTubers. As far as this match goes for excitement and whatnot, I don't have much excitement for it because there hasn't been much of a build for it. I love AJ Styles. I appreciate Logan Paul in the ring, what he can do. Don't really like the guy, but whatever. I think it's going to be an athletic match. I think there's going to be a viral moment or two in this match. As far as who I think takes the victory, I honestly think you give AJ the victory because then AJ has momentum going into the summer where we don't always see Logan Paul stick around all summer. He might be at Money in the Bank, or he might wait till SummerSlam to show up, but he doesn't need this victory. The guy's rich, the guy's famous, he doesn't really need a win over AJ Styles at WrestleMania. Now, the Logan Paul match I did predict in my video a couple months ago was actually against John Cena, but little did I know that John Cena was going to have the biggest heel turn coming up in just a couple weeks. Next, we have our Sin City Street fight between Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre. This is a big grudge match that I think a lot of us were kind of groaning and moaning about just a couple months ago because we thought Drew McIntyre deserved much better. You know, not a slight against Priest. Priest has been building his way up the card over the past couple years, and he's been doing good for himself. But Drew has been at another level. He has been one of the top performers in the company over the past year, if not probably the best performer in the company over the past year. With his character work, his in-ring work, the ability to keep a rivalry alive with CM Punk, who was injured for majority of last year. That's an amazing ability by Drew McIntyre to keep that going. So we all kind of want to see Drew get rewarded. Some of us, including myself, would have loved to have seen Drew McIntyre versus Roman Reigns as the Bloodline Hunter versus the head of the Bloodline type of storyline. You know, maybe we'll get that coming up in the next year or so. But unfortunately, it's going to be Drew going against Priest. I think these guys can put on a cool match because it's going to be a street fight. And as these guys have shown already, they're not afraid to go in the back parking lot and do some crazy things. One thing I would love to see is like they did in the 90s. I believe it was Piper versus Goldust, where they just go on a car chase. And I know they were spoofing the OJ car chase, but I think this would be crazy if they did this as like a whole night storyline where they're just catching up with them at random intersections as they're driving and trying to catch each other. It's silly, I know, but it's something we haven't seen in a long time, and I think it'd be different enough to be very memorable. But as far as who's going to win, I think Drew needs the win. Priest is going to be fine with the loss. Like I said, he's still working his way up the card. He can get a big win, you know, the next PLE or whatever, but I think Drew needs this WrestleMania win. And now we have the triple threat for the women's world title match between Bianca Belair, Rhea Ripley, and champion Io Sky. Now this is probably my pick for match of the night on night 2. I think these three women are going to burn the house down. You know, I had made a prediction a few months ago where it was going to be Rhea Ripley versus Io, and now they've added Bianca into that. So hey, 2/3 of a prediction ain't bad. I'm so happy that Bianca was added to it because I think it's going to add so much more to the match. Now I'm predicting the winner to actually be Io Sky. I think she is going to walk out of Mania with the title, and we're going to see Rhea and Bianca carry on a big feud going throughout the summer. And let's face it, Bianca and Rhea, they don't need this win. They've won a lot at WrestleMania over the past couple of years, so they'll be just fine. Io, however, does need this big win. She lost her belt at last year's WrestleMania, and her current title reign was kind of won on a weird, rocky start, so I think this will help validate her as a champion, and I think this can help carry her into a feud with someone like Liv, while the other two big, huge stars of Rhea and Bianca can just take off in a rivalry that'll probably compete with CM Punk and Drew from last year. And you know what? I'm actually calling it now. I think Bianca and Rhea Ripley will be the Hell in a Cell match come later on this year. And now we get to the Night 2 big main event of John Cena versus Cody Rhodes for the WWE title. This one I really don't know. Ever since the introduction of heel John Cena, I really don't know how the company is going to handle this. Back in my predictions video, I didn't want Cena anywhere near the title match come Mania because I thought I wanted to see him chase the title throughout the entire year if he was going to stay a babyface. Little did I know they were going to turn him heel, and now I think he should absolutely have the title after WrestleMania. So that is my prediction. I want John Cena to walk out of WrestleMania as the champion. I think Cody has done a great job as champion, but he needs to chase the belt. Because if you don't let him chase the belt, you risk him getting stale, and then we have another Cena and Roman situation on our hands. But I think you let Cody chase it for another year. Maybe bring him back at WrestleMania to fight whoever the champion is then, which, early prediction, I think it'll be CM Punk, because I think we'll get Cena and Punk somewhere down the line. Or we'll get Randy. Randy and Cena, and Randy will be champion, and then we'll have Cody and Randy. Both of those matchups are very intriguing to me, but we'll save that for later down the road. I think right now, Cody needs to go away, Cena needs to be champion, and both will benefit from both of this, and so will the company, and so will we, the fans. But that is my predictions for WrestleMania weekend. If you want some quick predictions for the small stuff, Andre Battle Royale winner, Carmella. Tag team champions for SmackDown going into the weekend, I think it's still Street Profits. Now, if they have some kind of match during the Mania card, you keep it Street Profits. These guys need to hold those belts for a few more months. I like what they're doing, love the gimmick change, and I'd love to see how they can carry these belts going into the summer. Well, anyways, guys, that's it. That's my prediction. Sorry for the long-winded video, and I want to know your predictions. So please, down in the comments, please let me know what matches you're looking forward to and who is walking out the winners of WrestleMania and all these matches. So please comment down below with your predictions. And as always, guys, thank you for watching the video. If you could, please leave a like down below and hit the subscribe button. Please help grow this channel because I want to form a community with you guys, with fellow wrestling fans. I don't know about you guys, I've been a wrestling fan all my life, and it's always been a little lonesome because it's not always been cool to be a wrestling fan. It's never been mainstream when I've been growing up. So I love to be part of a community, and I love for you beautiful people to be a part of it. And you know what? It's not only predictions I do on this channel, I actually do some trivia. If you want to check out some of that, click right here.